What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? Jingliu arrives in only 2 days from now. Actually, it's less than 2 days from now. So it's time to talk about her seriously. Is she a must-pull? Is her light cone a must-pull? How good actually is her light cone? What are light cone alternatives? What is she bringing to the table? What's her kit? Let's get into it and dive headfirst into the sauce. Alrighty then, so if we click on the link from the Honkai Star L official Twitter, which takes us to Hoyle Lab, where we can see the character preview for Jingliu and her light cone preview as well, we can see clearly that Jingliu is really hot. But what does her light cone actually say? Let's take a look here. It increases the wearer's crit damage by 20%. And when all allies gets attacked or loses HP, which is all of the time with Jingliu, the wearer gains 1 stack of Eclipse, up to a max of 3 stacks. Each stack of Eclipse increases the damage of the wearer's next attack by 14%. And when 3 stacks are reached, additionally enables the attack to ignore 12% of the enemy's defense. This effect will be removed after the wearer uses an attack. All I have to say about this light cone is, I need it! This light cone is really good, you guys. This light cone is incredible, okay? This light cone is stacked. This light cone is cracked. They're gonna have to nerf it in the next patch, okay? This light cone's really good. Okay, this is a darn good light cone. I know that happens a lot with the signature light cones for characters, but this thing is actually bonkers. Okay, I am incredibly dissatisfied with the fact that I might not be able to pull for this light cone. Just a little bit of a disclosure here. Is this light cone a must pull? I'm gonna let you in on a secret. There's no such thing as a must pull anything in this game ever. However, this would have probably been the first light cone that I would have pulled for in this game, not gonna lie. I do have 2 accounts, but I like to spread it so that I can get like every character that I can get my hands on in the game, not only for content but for fun's sake. But if I had the pulls available, I would have actually pulled for this light cone, but I probably can't because I just barely have enough to probably be able to get me the character. Probably won't have enough for the light cone as well, which is unfortunate, but it's okay, fam, because there are alternatives to this light cone. There are other things that we can use that are very good. You don't have to have this light cone to have a very powerful Jingliu. To be honest, she's so powerful on her own, you could use a mid-tier light cone and she would still pop off like the queen that she is. So let's take a look at the alternatives to this light cone, because not everybody is going to be lucky enough to get this dang thing. So let's take a look. Okie dokie then. So the first light cone I want to mention is the one that most players are probably going to be using, because not everyone's going to be able to get her signature light cone, and this, in my opinion, is the best option for most players. It's on the fall of an Aeon. It is the 5-star destruction light cone you can pick up from the Herta shop, which means that every single player in the game can get their hands on this, and every single player in the game can easily take this up to S5. Even if you're a new player, just keep doing your simulated universe weeklies and you'll eventually get this cone to S5. It is that easy. So what does it say? When the wearer attacks, it increases their attack by 8% at S1, 16% at S5. In this battle, that means it doesn't go away, and this stacks up to 4 times. When the wearer inflicts weakness break on enemies, the wearer's damage increases by 12% at S1 and 24% at S5 for 2 turns. So this does take a little bit of time to build up because you don't have all of those stacks right away, but it just does so much. I have this on my Dan Hung and Vibrator Lune, and it is a great light cone. It's such an amazing light cone, and everybody can get it. It is so darn good. But there are other alternatives as well. Not as good in my opinion, but these are other alternatives you can use if you happen to have them. The second light cone I wanted to mention here is something irreplaceable. This is the Clara light cone. It increases the wearer's attack by 24%. When the wearer defeats an enemy or is hit, it immediately restores HP equal to 8% of the wearer's attack At the same time, the wearer's damage increases by 24% until their next turn. This effect cannot stack and can only trigger one time per turn. So this does have a cool, interesting thing. Obviously, some of those numbers are going to change whether it's S1 or S5, but I wanted to point out that this does have a built-in heal, which can help you with the life drain that Jingliu does put out. However, it is much, much harder to get this light cone to S5. So for most players' accounts, this light cone won't be as good as on the fall of an Aeon because most people won't have this at S5. So I just wanted to point that out, but it does have a little bit of a safety net with that at HP that you'll be gaining back from the light cone. Now, on to the next runner-up, which is, in my opinion, like on a completely different tier in terms of like, it's not as powerful as the other two. Well, it's a 4-star. It's Arlen's light cone. Arlen's catching strays even when he's not on the battlefield. Arlen, a secret vow, increases the damage dealt by the wearer by 20%. The wearer also deals an extra 20% of damage to enemies with a higher HP percentage than the wearer. So, as you can tell, there's just literally less words on it than the other light cones, and it does mean in the end that it doesn't do as much overall damage. Now, this isn't a bad light cone, it's just not as good as the others in my personal opinion. But I did want to also point out something else. You have another option as well, which I also don't think is as good. It is Under the Blue Sky. This can help you, for instance, with like your crit rate issues that you probably don't have because there is a lot of crit value built into Jingliu itself. So you can mostly lean into whatever crit values you're lacking in relics and make up for any crit problems you might have with the character. So you don't really need a light cone like this to fix those types of problems. So Under the Blue Sky, kind of not as good. A Secret Vow, also not very good in my opinion. The Seal of Approval goes to On the Fall of an Aeon, the 5-star light cone from the Herta shop. Not only can everybody get it, they can take it to S5, and it's not even like bad. It is an amazing light cone. Really, really good. Some people's best in slot if they don't have the availability to get her signature light cone. So, Jingliu's light cone is really, really damn good. However, nothing is a must-pull in this game. However, this light cone will work on any destruction character. It's crazy strong for any destruction character to use. So, even if you aren't going to be playing Jingliu, this is not a bad pickup if you are able to pick it up and it doesn't break the bank, okay? Just something to maybe think about. It's damn good, even if you aren't going to be playing Jingliu. But let's move forward and talk about her kit and abilities that were also revealed, and this is what she will release with because this is official from Hoyoverse themselves. Let's get to her traces. Jingliu is a DPS character. That's not what I wanted to read. While in the spectral transmigration state, the effect resistance of Jingliu increases. Very cool. However, unless you have substats that help with this, I don't think this is really going to matter that much. Anyways, moving forward, after using the Transcendent Flash, the next action will be Advance Forward, which is essentially like a speed buff. Depending on how much it is advanced forward, she might literally just get like another turn, kind of like Resurgence. Anybody like worried about that? That's kind of strong. Anyways, while in the spectral transmigration state, her ultimate damage increases. Girl, you get everything. Oh my god, Jingliu's getting every cool thing. Moving on to her technique. After using this technique, it creates a dimension around Jingliu that lasts for a duration that inflicts freeze on all enemies in this dimension. Because she gets everything else, why not give her a whole dimension, right? After entering combat with enemies in the dimension, Jingliu immediately regenerates energy and obtains a number of Syzygy stacks, because why not give her even more? With a chance of freezing an enemy target for a number of turns. While frozen, enemy targets cannot take action and receive additional ice damage at the start of every turn, kind of like a DOT. Only one dimension created by your team can exist at one time. Oh, boo-hoo, you only get one frost dimension. Anyways, she has a basic attack. Moving on, she has an enhanced skill, and that deals ice damage to a single enemy target and a proportional amount of ice damage to adjacent targets, which is blast damage, deals their damage to 3 enemies at once. One in the middle takes the most damage. Anyways, it consumes a number of stacks of Syzygy as well. This ability doesn't consume skill points. Oh no, it doesn't consume skill points. It's incredibly OP. Anyways, her talent, Crescent Transmigration. This is gonna be a paragraph. I'm reading like a book right now, okay? So bear with me. When Jingliu has a number of syzygy stacks, she enters the spectral transmigration state with her action advanced forward and her crit rate increased. You could just stop right there and this would already be good. Anyways, then Jingliu's skill Transcendent Flash is enhanced to Moon on Glacial River, and only this enhanced skill is available for use in battle at this time. When Jingliu uses an attack in the spectral transmigration state, she consumes HP of all other allies equal to a percentage of their respective max HP. This cannot reduce allies' HP to lower than 1. This just smells of Blade, just it goes to all allies. And Jingliu's attack increases proportionately based on the total HP consumed from all allies for this attack. It smells like Blade again, and it's capped at a percentage of her base attack, lasting until the current attack ends. We ain't done. Jingliu cannot enter the spectral transmigration state again until the current spectral transmigration state ends, which I know that kind of like makes sense. Anyway, the syzygy cannot. Whoa, I'm having a stroke. The syzygy can stack up to 3 times. When syzygy stacks become 0, Jingliu will exit the spectral transmigration state. I need a water after that. Anyway, she has a skill as well. It's called Transcendent. Thank you for not naming it some ridiculous thing like the rest of the things are. Anyways, it deals ice damage to a single enemy target and gains a number of stacks of syzygy. Very good. She has an ultimate called... Oh shit. Bear with me on this one. Florephemeral Dream Flux. Jesus Christ, she's got a flex on everybody with all these cool names and all these cool abilities. Boom. It deals ice damage to a single enemy target and a proportional amount of ice damage to adjacent targets. Again, this is blast damage, 3 enemies at once, one in the middle takes the most, and it gains a number of she gains a number of stacks of syzygy after the attack ends. I'm going to read that again because I suck at reading it. It deals ice damage to a single enemy target and a proportional amount of ice damage to adjacent targets, gains a number of stacks of syzygy after the attack ends. And Fiend, that is her kit, that is her light cone. She's amazing. And Jingliu likes me more than she likes you. So, if you found this video entertaining in any way, shape, or form, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you didn't, screw you, I don't care. See you next time.